It's Monday, May 8th, and we have the great and powerful Josh Wessels. Did I pronounce your last name right?
Yep, absolutely. That's it.
Got it. All right, 1 for 1. Let's go. Josh runs a couple Instagram pages, but I want to let him talk a little bit about himself. So, Josh, who are you? Where are you from? How'd you get involved with trading?
All right, my name is Joshua Wessels. I'm from Seattle, Washington here. I've been living here for the last few years now. And I originally got started with trading back in 2017 when Bitcoin first ever hit $20,000. I knew nothing about trading or investing at all and took the couple thousand I had and bought the top at $20,000. From there, it was the rest is history, but it was a big learning curve from that point on.
Awesome. So I gotta ask: are you still holding on to that Bitcoin, or have you sold that?
If I would have held, I would have had no losses. Absolutely not. But yeah, no, that Bitcoin's long gone. And the only crypto I do hold right now would be XRP, but not nearly the amount I would like to have. But gotta have a little bag.
Yeah, absolutely. Diversification, right? That's kind of the name of the game when it comes to investing.
It is. It is.
Awesome. What got you into trading? Was it a person? Was it a book? Were you at a something in Seattle where you've got buddies that are talking about Forex or just cryptocurrency in general? Kind of give us that story.
All right, how did it start? Let's see. Well, to be honest, at this moment in time, I was living in Las Vegas and I just went to like some concert, some EDM concert, and someone there was talking about that stuff, but I ended up following them, and from there went to a rabbit hole. They were talking about some altcoins and stuff back then, and that's when I just jumped down the rabbit hole and started learning about Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the different wild altcoins. Back then, it was even more crazier than it is now. But from there, it was a struggle. But after that point, I reached out to someone who I actually knew was doing this and was doing it for a few years, and it was someone I was going to college with. Reached out to them and they put me on the right track, told me how to market my charts correctly, not to be looking at the Ichimoku cloud and using multiple different RSIs and things like that. But from there, I grew a lot. They weren't really my mentor, but they gave me everything I needed and kind of helped me for about a month. Maybe had 2 or 3 phone calls with them. And at this point, they're, I believe, like an 8-figure day trader now. Wow. And all they really do is just buy real estate and flip houses now. Trade full time anymore. But yeah, that's who got me into the game, put me in the right direction. And
do you want to share their name?
Oh yeah, his name was Marlon Ailman, and he lives in Seattle still as well. But he's a very simple guy. But he's simple by choice. He lives a very simple lifestyle, but he can, basically do everything that he wants. And I believe he's only 29, 2 years older than me. So,
wow.
Yeah. So because of him, it's kept the dream alive and shown me what's really possible.
Awesome. Do you keep in touch with him? Like, have you reached out to him recently or in the last 12 months just to check in and see how he's doing and vice versa?
I think it's been about a year and a half, 2 years since the last time I actually reached out to him. And I think at that point, he's more of a ghost now. He stays really low key, so it's kind of hard to get a hold of him.
Yeah.
He actually reached out to me back a year and a half, 2 years ago when he saw I had my first 10K trading month. And he was really happy to see that, because I know a lot of people hit him up for help. A lot of people quit, and I think I'm pretty much the only one out here still, trying to make things happen.
Awesome. So 10K, huge. That's a big milestone for a monthly payout or win. Even in that matter, it doesn't even have to be a payout. Winning 10K a month and getting that on trades that's hard to do. What was that feeling? Was that the first time you'd ever done that? And have you done it since?
That was not the first time I've done that, but that is the first time I've done that being disciplined and using good risk to reward, taking good trade setups, and not crazy stacking my trades, things like that. That was the first time I actually did it right. But I did do it a few times before, maybe 3 total different times. I think in my second year of trading, I demoed for like a month and a half, 2 months straight, and took I believe it was like a $10,000 demo account to 50,000. So I was like, okay,
Wow.
now I can see my potential. I'm doing things right, planning everything out. So then after that, I took a $500 account and took that to 10,000, which is insane. I did that in one
That's
week.
crazy.
It really is.
That's a massive delta.
Yeah. And so the following week, though, I would just blow up. I would only withdraw 500 or 1,000, and then the following week just blow up from a lack of discipline, from over leveraging, from trying to double it from 10,000 to 20,000, which makes no sense, because if I just kept doing the right things, that would have just continued to grow. And
Right.
essentially, that was the same story two more times until finally I got to this point of where I started doing things right. And after that, the most recent 10K month we were talking about, I had done that only one more time since then. So a total of two times. I mean, a total of five, but two times where it was more discipline and having a more solid approach to the market and actually being wise and using my skill set.
Does that feeling of achieving it by discipline and your personal trading strategy, does that make it sweeter in achieving those big milestones like that, or is it more exciting achieving it on the other side where you're trying to like catch a falling knife and you end up catching it, and it's a big win, but you're not exactly sure how you got there?
Yeah, it's definitely better. It feels a lot better when I did it more calculated and knowing what I was doing. Even in the process of losing the trades, I would know that I could make that back or come back the next day. Ultimately doing it that way was really rewarding, and it took a lot. It takes a lot out of you to consistently do the right things every single day. It's okay to mess up 1 or 2 days, but it's how you bounce back from those days, because it only takes 1 or 2 days to lose absolutely everything, which I have done as well. I've done that, and it hurts. It really does suck. But you learn from these major pain points, and you
Mhm.
ultimately quit, or you're going to grow and become a really good trader out of it.
Yeah. So one thing I've noticed with your content over the last couple of weeks, really, and even before that, you have been pumping out content like crazy. Tons of stuff on Telegram, on your own. You've got two Instagram pages, I think, unless you have a third one that I don't know about.
No, not a third, thank goodness.
Okay. So does that level of consistency come from your trading background? So I see the most successful traders are the ones who are consistent, um, stay on their strategy, and deviate just a little to try new things and test things, but the core of their strategy stays intact. It, which came first for you? Was it the consistency on the trading side of things, or this consistency with reaching out and building a community and supporting those around you?
Hmm. It mainly, I would say it really started from when I started the community, because I had the Instagram pages a little
Hmm.
before then, about a year before then. But once I started the community, it took a lot out of me. One, to be consistent with it. It's a lot of responsibility to help others. And on top of that, I've seen a lot of other pages, a lot of other communities where the trader may have been good, or they have a bad week or whatever, and their community is done just like that. All the
Right.
time effort they put in, and that's really sad to see. So I knew that one when I was doing this. There was a big learning curve at first, because it has to be part of my life. Especially when there's people asking me questions every single day,
Hmm.
sending me their own charts, wanting uh, their own Zoom calls for help. It took a lot to really be consistent, to send everything every single day, to update everything every single day. It wasn't overnight, but it was a realization of, these people are coming to me. They need my help. I have to do this. Otherwise, if I don't do this, it's not going to be to the level that I'm trying to get it at. And I'm
Hmm.
not going to be able to help those people to the level that I want to help them at as well. So from there, I would say once I got really consistent on the Telegram, my trading really improved as well, because it had to go hand in hand.
Yeah,
I
you're
can't,
in it every day, right?
yeah, I
Yeah.
have to be. I truly have to be, and I can't, I used to call a lot of free signals in the free channel, not so much anymore, because a lot of those people are beginners, and that's already a lot to do as it is. But
Hmm.
with my own students, setting trades every single day, updating them in real time, telling them what to do, moving the stop loss, that takes a lot of focus, a lot of confidence in yourself, a lot of discipline, and you have to really trust what you're doing and have a strong skill set. So I would say it really stemmed. Things started to step up once I started the Telegram, and there have been bad weeks as well, but ultimately I just kept going every single week, showed up every single week, showed up most days throughout the week,
Hmm.
and was available for people when they needed help. And
That's
I'm still
awesome.
not going anywhere because as soon as I stop this, people have no one else. I mean, there's lots of other resources, but in terms of what
Sure.
I'm providing, there's not too many people out there doing that.
That's awesome. I follow you very closely on Telegram and on Instagram, and there's a ton of inspiration. And with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, that's what I literally say to them as well. Yeah, absolutely. It's the truth.
The students that you take on, are they more beginner? Are they intermediate? Is it a range? And then as you, when somebody applies for mentorship with and through you, what do you look for in a trader that hasn't that's interested but hasn't signed up yet? What are you looking for from them versus the other way around?
All right, essentially, I've had the skill sets range from beginner to intermediate. I've had one brand new trader, but I think they've stopped trading since then. It's a lot of work, and they
Hmm.
didn't really have the right mindset in terms of how much work they needed to put in on their own. I already spoon feed the students, in my opinion. That's how I feel, at least. I give them a lot. I
Hmm.
tell them exactly what to do. So I'm already doing, I feel like, as much as I can. I can maybe provide a little more as well, but some people need to already have that mindset of, okay, I need to put the work in, put in the time, need to put in the time to learn. Others aren't really like that. They need a lot more help, but those people typically aren't the ones that are going to make it because
Yeah.
they're not putting in the effort themselves. And I didn't get here by asking people to help me out. I got here from the own time I put in and from marking out my charts and the chart time. And
Yeah.
that's the level of dedication. And some people just don't have that. Some people aren't dedicated like that or disciplined like that. And that's just how it is in life, you know. But essentially, yeah, people who are disciplined and dedicated, even when things are hard, even when, you might not understand it,
Hmm.
or if you lose money, you have to be able to weather the storm. But as long as you see that you're growing and learning and you're putting in time every single day, every single week,
Hmm.
you're going to get better ultimately. And that's how the mindset is of all the current students who are still here. I think maybe I've lost two total. The rest are still active and
That's
show up in the
great.
chat. I completely agree. And it's not in terms of the numbers, not as what I'd like, but I have 17 full-time active students, and that's a lot. That's a lot. It's not as much as I'd like,
Yeah,
but
no
it's
doubt.
still a good amount of people from, all around the world, in India, in Asia. I only have one student from America, which is surprising, but the rest are all from over the world. I never even thought I would have that type of global impact on, and it's just a small amount of people, but like I said, they show up every day. They have the right mindset. They're posting their charts. They're posting their markups.
Mhm.
They're showing setups that they're taking, whether it's a win or a loss. They're ultimately learning how to use their own judgment, become confident in their own skill set, and that you have to have the right mindset in order to be a trader, essentially,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
right characteristics.
one thing that we've always found with traders is if they're not willing to put in the sweat equity, then the longevity of that trader is not there. Their life as a trader will be very short lived if they're not willing to put in the sweat equity. And to your point, weather the storm, or be able to accept the losses, understand why they lost, how they lost, and get through those. If you can't get through those, then it becomes much more difficult to come back the next day and try again.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it goes to the some people won't even read baby pips, and
Hmm.
if you can't even read baby pips, you need to get the understanding of how pips, what the forex market is, what pips are, then there's really no hope for you.
Right.
And I did have one student that was like that. Told them to read baby pips 3 different times on top of already sending them my own content, and they never did. So if you can't do just the bare minimum,
Yeah,
which is still a decent amount of time, you're gonna have to read through that. It takes like an hour to read through everything, maybe a little more. But you need to know all these little things. It all goes together, and you can't skip any of these little things. It's a very time consuming process. It's a growth process
for
ultimately.
sure. For sure. So your process, how would you describe your trading strategy?
Okay, this one's a little interesting to answer because I see all over a lot of people say, oh, they trade, using ICT, inner circle trader strategies and breakout trades and all sorts of different things like smart money concepts. But to me, I'm just using supply and demand, support and resistance, and primarily the price action. And from
Hmm.
there, knowing the skills I already have, whether it's going to be a scalp trade or intraday trade, whatever, based on the experience that I have, I'm choosing whether I want it to be an intraday trade or if I'm going to scalp this setup based on what I'm seeing. You can tell on the charts on the price action whether there's a high probability of something happening over another. And sometimes, even on those good high probability trade setups, you're going to lose. It's at that point to where you decide if you're going to manage your risk or manage the trade.
Hmm.
And ultimately, if you're going to scout, then you need to accept that you're taking the scout trade, even if that trade ends up going for 80 to 100 pips. It's using your utility belt essentially on what tool you're going to use. And how I kind of view the market is essentially, obviously, there's multiple trading styles, but
Hmm.
mostly I'm doing is scalping and intraday trading. But to determine that is based off of what I'm seeing currently. Like if the candle just rejected strongly and I'm up 20 pips, I'm just probably going to take that and look for a different trade.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's a chance of possibly stopping me out before that works. And if I'm going to accept that, if I'm going to accept being stopped out, then I fully accept that and miss out on the small gain.
Hmm.
But it's trusting your skill set enough to understand that even if you missed out on a scalp and got stopped out, you know that there's another trade coming around the corner. And even if you got stopped out on a good intraday trade and missed the chance to take a small gain, you know that either later in the session or later in the next session, you're going to find that same move or a different move that's going to
Hmm.
make up for that. So I'm really just using a certain set of technicals and reading the price action in terms of which direction it's going to go, obviously,
Yeah.
but basically determining whether it's going to be a breakout trade, a scalp trade, or an intraday trade, and fully accepting what it is that I'm going to do, whether I'm leaving money on the table or not. But typically, most of my setups are breakout trades or scalps.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's
Awesome.
what's going to be the most effective as well, because I'm trading more higher volume assets like gold and the Nasdaq, and
Hmm.
scalping is highly effective on those assets, and so is breakout trading.
Absolutely. You can make a lot of money very fast.
Yeah, especially if you're quick and think quickly and
Yeah.
can flip your bias. You really can, really can. But you have to be safe though at the same time. But
Yeah. Always put your stop losses in place. That's the reason why we have the rule, the soft rule at FTG is having your stop losses put in place. We do believe and have seen this in practice that it makes better traders having stop losses because they have better risk management. They're able to trade for a much longer period of time instead of losing it all in one trade.
yeah, and I agree. And people say they have mental stop losses, but in the heat of the moment, when you place a mental stop loss, a lot of times you're not going to push close. You're just going to let it go because you're thinking, oh, it might come back, and then all of a
Hmm.
sudden taking that rip. I don't agree with mental stop losses in any type of way. I don't believe in manually cutting it when you see it hit a price. I think you should really stop it because it's that easy just to be like, okay, let's just let it go a little more. And then that little more becomes a lot more. And that's from
Yeah,
my
it
own
could be
experience.
hundreds or thousands of dollars.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
how I've lost, the 10K in gains that I've had before. That's how I've lost a few funded accounts as well by doing the same exact thing. Even though I've had a lot of good progress on it, it takes that one or two poor decisions, one
Hmm.
or two poor days to just ruin everything.
Yeah, absolutely. What time frame do you trade on? Are there a couple that you like to choose from?
Yeah, I usually look at between the 1 and 4 hour time frame, and I'll use the 12 hour in one day in conjunction with that as well.
Hmm.
A lot of times it's on the 15 and 30 minute. And in those 15, 30 minute candles, based on the 1 or 2 hour time frame, I might only hold it for about 15, 20, 30 pips,
Hmm.
unless I'm seeing it to be a higher volume move based off the 4 hour, 12 hour time frame. Start a New York session, middle New York session, and I see, a certain level of support or resistance breaking. I know I can hold out a little longer. But yeah, typically 12 hour, 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, 15 minute.
Yeah, I
Between
mean, that falls right in line with your strategy of intraday and scalping.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
not swing traders where you're looking at 4 hours in one day and one week, holding trades for days at a time. I'm sure you have done that before and still do, but yeah, it can be very fun, rewarding, exciting, and panicky all at the same time. If you're trading in a single day at 15-minute increments and trying to either catch a wave or get out of its way.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, I try to avoid the 15-minute though, just because a lot of times you'll see it like when you before you execute, you'll see the right price action and market behavior you need to, execute, and the candle will literally flip. But it doesn't typically do that as often on the 30-minute time frame. On the
Mm-hmm.
15-minute, I've noticed that happens a lot. So it's using, obviously your own judgment and comes back down to trade management, risk management at the end of the day. But
Yeah,
sticking a little bit above the 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour kind of save you some of those little losses that happen
yeah.
from those trades that are slightly mistimed.
How many hours a day are you putting in trading right now?
Let's see, I believe only 3 to 4 tops. The best, my window I can really trade is New York session. So I'm trying to get up between 5 and 6 a.m. and then off the charts by 8, which I know is only about a 2 to 3 hour window.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes, if I can, pre London to London session if there's something good available. And a lot of times the setups I'm seeing, they don't work during pre-London or London session. It
Yeah.
needs to do something else. And then by New York session, that move that I was seeing ends up happening. More often than not, that happens so often. But I'll still take it because the setup's there,
Mm-hmm.
and if it works out, then that's great. But I've noticed that for certain times for these moves that I'm seeing, it often needs to come back one more time or take liquidity or take out your stop loss before that move ends up happening for whatever reason. But yeah, about I'd say 2 3 hours, 4 at the max.
Yeah. And then that's trading. Are you using any of that time to either back test or review in your trading journal? Which shout out to your trading journal. It's awesome. It's a fantastic tool. Everybody should have a journal. And if you haven't checked out Josh's trading journal, I highly recommend it. It's a great resource just to keep track of what you're doing and how you're doing.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, are you are you back testing in those 3 hours, or are you using some of your other time during your day to review what you've done and how you've done?
It's typically right after the session journaling, but reviewing the trades themselves typically will be later in the night. Typically, when I get home, I work at a financial institution currently at a bank. So after that is when I typically get to review the trades. But journaling is right after the session. That's the most
Mhm.
effective. It doesn't even take that long. Just write down your pros, cons, improvements, rate your psychology on the day and what pairs you traded,
Mhm.
whether it was a win, loss, or break even. That needs to be done right after every single training session, though,
Yeah, it's
because
super fresh at that point. Like you're
yeah,
still in it.
yeah, absolutely. And if you can't get it done, right after the session, then definitely still that day, because you need to be able to reflect and write these things down. It helps build discipline and consistency. Whether it is just a quick journal entry or whether it is something really detailed, on where you need to improve or what you could have done better. It's ultimately going to help you grow. And yeah, I'll definitely journal right after the session, and back testing and reviewing the trades is kind of comes up when I'm doing my analysis for the next day,
Mhm.
because I already have the risk to reward tools up, or I'll see how price played and I'll be like, oh, let me check this out. Okay, we entered here, we got stopped out here, and so on.
Awesome. You've probably got a lot of information and details on where your followers are from globally. We're seeing Forex really start to pick up in the United States, which we're very excited about. I think the U.S. has lagged behind many other countries across the world uh, in this particular space, and understanding how it works. So there's a lot of traders in the United States that are more options based traders. So where are you seeing some of the growth internationally and maybe here locally, or maybe you're not seeing it here in stateside and it's still stagnant like it has been over the last from early 2000s up until more recent when it's actually started to get some steam. What are you seeing?
I've seen, for me personally, a lot of Indian students, India and Asia. And I'm not sure if that just has to do with their global economics or really what the case is, but definitely a lot of
Mm-hmm.
India and Asia. I don't really have, oh, I do have, an American audience, but it's definitely bigger in India and Asia. But I have noticed Forex is picking up more and more in the US. But yeah,
Yeah.
most people only know about stocks and options. And the only big things here in the US regarding Forex is just the MLM schemes that people fall for,
Right.
and that ultimately gives them their idea of what Forex really is. But for the people that happen to avoid that, they are learning. I've gone to, like, a few weeks ago, I got my screen protector changed, and the guy at AT&T knew I was a trader based off the signal on my phone. I have yeah, that is the background.
Oh,
So
oh,
it's
nice.
trade, and I was like, oh, this guy knows us. I was like, yeah, we talked, but that doesn't really happen too often. But that just kind of shows that people are becoming more aware of Forex itself, though, which I am happy to see that. I am definitely happy to see that. I don't really know too many people in my personal life that knows much about it other than stocks or options.
Yeah. Funded Traders Global's out of West Michigan, Grand Rapids specifically. And when I've got friends and family that are like, "Hey, Craig, what do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I work for a prop firm, a forex trading platform," and they're like, "What? What are you talking about?" It's like I'm speaking Greek. So it's fun to kind of explain, our process, how and why we support traders through funding and challenge types. What funding challenges have you done, and where what do you look for in a prop firm when you're evaluating somebody that you want to take a challenge with?
Hmm. Okay. See, the ones that I've done, the highest and biggest account that I've successfully passed is 100K.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I've passed 50Ks, passed 125K, and then I started, with $10,000 accounts back when I first learned about FTMO. I think that was in 2020 at
Yeah.
this point. Yeah, during COVID at that back then. But what I want to look for, what I tend to look for in firms to get funding is, one, first their account sizes and the cost, and ultimately how their rules are. You know, I know a lot of places do the two-step evaluation, 30 days and 60 days,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty standard across most places. And that's all right. But a lot of times I would opt out for my Forex funds because they had a smaller profit target than the rest. So I would choose them just because they had an 8% target instead of a
Mm-hmm.
10% target. And they also offered fast payouts. I've also looked for firms that offer live funding from day one. There's a
Mm-hmm.
few that do that, and that's also very nice. And some of them offer profit splits. As soon as you make some money, some offer once you hit 10%, then you have a 50-50 split. And then we have firms like FTG, Funded Traders Global, which is doing something different now than what's standard, which is the one-step evaluation with no time limits. Now, although the challenge fees are a little higher,
Mm-hmm.
but that's because you're paying for a shorter amount of time in a sense of no phases and a no time limit, which is completely worth the price. And just from my own experience, sometimes with those other firms, it's going to take a few different tries based off of how their model is and based off you being in the right mindset or not as well. So sometimes, even though it is cheaper and they may have a lower profit target. You still may end up paying for it a few times simply because of how it's set up. You know, to make 8% one time, 10% one time is a lot, but then to go do it again, the half amount again,
For that
and
for that
then,
second stage.
yeah, for the
Yeah.
second stage, and then to go on and survive another 30 days to get a profit split
Yeah.
is a lot of time. That's at a minimum of 45 days, a minimum. But some people that could be a period of, 2.5, almost 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
With FTG, whenever you pass it, it could take a week, depending if you got a good trade or if you get trades or had a great week, could take a month, 2, 3 months. But at the end of the day, you're still getting the live funds. And with the mechanism that's in place, it helps you stay mindful in the decisions you're making. Because just from my own experience, I've taken those big over risk trades and then, hit the daily drawdown limit for absolutely no reason, for being foolish.
Mm-hmm.
But with how FTG is set up with their trailing stop loss mechanism, it really makes you put into perspective. I need to be doing this every single day. I need to stay consistent. I need to stay disciplined. Otherwise, I'm going to lose this account, which is the case, obviously, for every other prop firm too. But what makes this one so unique is that there is no time limit, and you get your first payout essentially whenever you want to. And for me personally, I'm looking to take a profit split maybe when I'm over 5%, because how
Yeah.
the stop loss works, I'll have a little buffer and then I'll get a little bit as well and still have
Right.
that drawdown. But essentially, that's really what I'm looking for in firms, though. Good profit targets,
Mm-hmm.
fast payouts, and as well as them wanting you to truly succeed. There's a lot of firms out there that don't really want you to succeed, or from the outside perspective, that's what it seems like based on how they treat their traders or
Mm-hmm.
how their business model's set up. But I know with the FTG, you guys really want us to succeed based off the rules you have set up, everything you have to offer. Even on the FTG Knowledge Bank, there's so much on there, and no other firm has that type of section on their website at all. You can learn literally almost everything you need to know about Forex just right on the FTG Knowledge Bank, which is pretty crazy. You don't see that. You don't see those resources anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, thank you for those kind words. We really appreciate it. That our business model was not set up to succeed on the failure of traders. For sure, it always has been and always will be set up to succeed on the success of traders. So when traders win, we win. It just a win-win-win. That's how we operate internally, and that's how we want our traders to think and feel. So appreciate that. We've talked a ton about trading. What do you like to do outside of the hours of work and trading?
All right. So things I like to do, I still read comic books. The
Heck
Batman,
yeah.
Batman and everything. I'm very up to date with that. That's how I'm able to find a lot of the clips and everything, because I still watch these things. Very up to date. I also like to go to the gym. I was been going to the gym for a very long time, since high school, and uh, part of
I
that.
think was it in Telegram that I saw was yesterday or 2 days ago. It was like healthy mind, healthy body, or healthy mind, healthy body, healthy trading, or something along those lines. It was that concept of getting out of the trading mindset and into just a more holistic aspect of life will make you a better trader. I vaguely remember this a couple
Yeah,
days ago.
absolutely. Yeah, I did say that. It's the truth, because you need balance in your life in all areas to be a successful trader. You can be good on the charts,
Mm-hmm.
but over time, that's going to end up hurting you. You got to have balance in terms of taking care of your health, taking care of your mind, meditating, reading. You need time away from the market. You can have the best skill set in the world, but you will be your own worst enemy if all these other areas aren't intact as well.
So let's do a couple rapid fire questions,
All right.
and then we can kind of do a wrap up. Maybe you can give some tips for some beginner traders, and we'll go from there.
All right. Sounds
Is
good.
that cool?
Yep.
All right, right on. All right, so rapid fire questions. First thing that comes to mind. So you ready?
Yep.
All right, Mac or Windows?
Mac, Absolutely back.
Right on. MT4, MT5.
MT5 is definitely better, but I'd use MT4, but MT5 is definitely the better choice.
Okay. Right on. Favorite currency pair?
Right now, NASDAQ 100.
Right on.
Yep.
Traveling or staying at home?
Definitely traveling and international traveling as well, to make that clear.
Favorite place to visit?
Let's see. I would like to visit Thailand, which I do have a trip planned upcoming in December, but Thailand is definitely number one on the list.
Awesome. I'm excited to hear more about that trip when you come back. Nike or Adidas?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go with Adidas. I have a lot of superstars. I like my Air Force Ones, but I like my superstars to be honest.
This is a softball. Batman or Superman?
Definitely Batman for sure. Easy one.
You used the utility belt reference earlier. I love that. That was clever.
Yep, that's how I literally think of it as well too. That's what it is. You learn all these different things, and it's situational, and it's your own judgment in terms of how you want to apply that situation, what tool you want to use that for that situation, because everything can be used, just determines how you're going to use them and what choice that you're going to stick with.
Yeah, absolutely. Ferrari or Lamborghini?
Ooh, Ferrari, definitely a Ferrari.
Okay. Big house, small garage. Big garage, small house.
I'm gonna have to go with the big house, small garage.
Okay.
Definitely. I always
Right.
love having, one or two cars, not trying to have a bunch of cars. It's just not really how I am.
Not your jam.
Yeah, nope. One Porsche though, that's all I need to be
Oh,
honest.
what's the Porsche?
Porsche 911 Turbo.
911 turbo, right on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just wait
Um,
for Porsche though, but that's all I need for now.
it's a fantastic brand. I don't think anybody could go wrong owning a Porsche.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Island vacation or like a forest vacation or like hikes and that kind of stuff.
Ooh, that is tough. Both of those are pretty good. I have to go with the island vacation. Yep,
Awesome,
definitely
right
like
on.
beaches more than the forest.
Excellent. So you've just won a $500,000 funded account, and you took it to 600,000. So you gained 100 grand. What do you do with that $100,000?
All right. First things first, I'm going to book a trip somewhere, probably Bali, realistically. But Bali's next on the list I would like to go to as well. Book a trip to Bali. I would use open a personal account with some of that profits. And what else what I would do besides those two things? Make sure all my bills are, completely paid off.
Yeah.
Probably, at least 6 months, at least 6 months, so I don't have to worry about any of that. And probably eat out almost every single day.
We got a foodie. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, if XRP is still pretty cheap, probably buy a decent amount of XRP as well and just let it sit until, it breaks its all-time high again.
I'm gonna have to look into XRP again. I think I've been served a couple Instagram ads for XRP, but I'll go back in and look at it for sure.
Yeah, it's a ticking time bomb. It will one day. I'm not sure when, but it's a good price. And once that lawsuit goes up, it's just a matter of time.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so let's end this with some like your top 2 or 3 tips for somebody that's heard of Forex, knows a little bit about it, would like to get involved or start learning more. What advice would you give them? Maybe point them in a direction to go learn some more info.
All right. So if I were to start things over again, it's brand new. I would want to be told to not even put a single penny of your real money into the market. Purely open a demo account. After that, learn price action and market structure. Don't bother with any indicators at all. So one, don't use your own money. Open a demo. learn price action and market structure, no indicators whatsoever. And 3, show up every day, dedicate at least 30 minutes every day to reading the price action,
Yeah.
looking at the market, and taking your own practice trades. Don't use any of your money whatsoever. And after you've been doing that for a few weeks, that builds your routine into making trading a bigger part of your life, which is what you need to do. It's going to be a daily part of your life.
Yeah.
So you start integrating that. After that, I would consider finding good resources on YouTube, and could either be me, myself, at Build a Trader on YouTube, or the only other two I could possibly recommend is Raha Banks or Rocks FX. The way they trade, all price action based, lots of educational videos,
Mm-hmm.
and they're ultimately going to preach the same exact things to you, and they have a lot of knowledge as well. So going back, yeah, none of my own money, only demo, only focusing on price action market structure, absolutely no indicators. And
Yep.
if I would have started with just those two resources on YouTube instead of all the other junk that's out there, it would have put me on the right path a lot sooner.
Awesome. Love it. Those are great pieces of advice. The University of YouTube is vast. So having that narrowed focus that you just gave the audience will help them tremendously. So thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, that's pretty much it. But we want to know, where to find you. So Josh, where can listeners find you on the interwebs?
All right. The most used platform that I use is Instagram, and I'll be under Build a Trader at Build a Trader _ and I have blue check mark on that account. You can also find me at Bat Signals, which stands for Build a Trader Signals, but it's just Bat _ Signals.
And that's B.A.T.
Oh,
or just BAT?
Just BAT _ Signals.
Nice.
I'm also on TikTok as Build a Trader, and on Telegram, which you'll be able to get the link for that if you follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's going to be in the bio. And I'm also on YouTube at Build a Trader as well. And those are the only platforms I'm on currently, and am most active on Instagram and Telegram.
Awesome. Wherever we post this video, we'll make sure to link directly to Josh and all of his socials. He's got amazing content. Highly recommend you check him out. It's almost daily, if not daily. And his Telegram channel's an incredible one to follow. He just did a live stream of his own. Was it yesterday? Friday.
It was yesterday. Yep.
Yesterday. Yeah. My days are blending together. I have a newborn.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So yeah, he'll break down his trades. And it's really cool to see that happen live real time. So follow Josh on all of his social channels. And Josh, thank you very much for taking time out of your day. We really appreciate it. Thanks for being an FTG trader. That's an incredible feeling to have you as a part of our community and vice versa. So thank you very much for sharing your knowledge. And we wish you and your community nothing but the best, and may your trades be ever in your favor.
All right. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely. All right. Take care, Josh. Have a good one.
Me as well.
Yep. Bye.